Hello, and once again, we are live with the Modern Mystery School UK EU podcast and YouTube channel. And today we are joined by the lovely Linley. How are you?
I'm doing very great. Very good. Thank you so much for having me.
Now, we were talking about success and walking a path because it's like a really funny thing out there, isn't it? That in the world, that sometimes people think, oh, you're walking a spiritual path so that you're not, mixing with people in the world, or you're not in successful jobs, or you're not having successful relationships, or these types of things. So why do we, from your experience, why do you think we need a path to be successful? Or do we? Or maybe we don't.
I thought I think that's an interesting mindset to have, or belief system to have. Something that comes to mind is, sovereign ipsissimus Dave said at some point that, if you're really doing good in your life, then your fruits should be evident to everybody, right? So not just to, let's say, to your fellow initiates, but like everybody in your community, in your local community, in your family should see that you are doing great, or should see certain good aspects of your life. So I think the idea that, I'm on a spiritual path and I don't need that material success, like, I can't see how that's possible, because the whole point for me, the whole point of being on a spiritual path, like the mystical school path, is because I want to create more good and beauty in my life, and for me that's successful. I want to live my purpose. For me that's successful. And it's like, if I'm creating good and beauty, if I'm living my purpose, it's almost impossible to not have, you could say, material success or relationship success, right? Because if I'm being my true self, or my higher self, if I'm really sharing my gifts and sharing values to the world, like, it's just almost like the result of that is people are going to want to come, they're going to want to work with me, or they're going to want to be in certain community with me in some way. So I don't think we can, I can't fathom being able to separate that. And to your second question, Ipsisma Kate, yeah, some I think for me, I don't know, maybe there's some other people in the world that can be extremely successful without discipline, without structure, without focus. I'm not like that. I need the structure, I need the focus, and also I need like the support, or I want the support of a higher spiritual path that always holds me accountable to what is my higher potential. Because it's very easy to forget, right? In this world, like, the world is not built to remind you of who you really are. So it's very easy to kind of get lost in the dramas and all the emotions, and like many, so like what's happening today. And so for me, the mystical path, or a really good spiritual path, is something that's going to keep me focused on what truly matters in life, and that's what keeps me going. So again, for me, I think success is, like, to be successful in the way that I want to, um, a spiritual path is important.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And it's so fascinating because you brought up quite a few points there. But one of the points that I particularly liked is that the structure, the discipline, being held accountable, because I think a lot of people think that good relationships, or a good job, or all these things come from just being free and being, but it's not. You speak to anybody that has those things, and if you have a good marriage, you are working at it day in, day out. If you have good relationships with your family, you are working at it. It's discipline, it's commitment. If you go, you're healthy, you go to the gym, it's discipline, commitment. All these things require some kind of structure. And I 100% agree that when you have that spiritual path that is there holding you to that good and beauty, and to that light and that positivity, then that flows into everything that we do, and of course then creates that success that you're talking about. And I think that's often missed in today's world, that you would have to make some kind of effort Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm just gonna be spiritual and
Yeah.
yeah, I think and and that's what I appreciate about the Mr. School mission, right? Is that we're here to bring heaven on earth, right? That where you could say where the spiritual meets the physical, but that's yes, we're a physical being, yes, we're also spiritual being. We're not one or the other, we're both. And like, what if the whole point of being here is to be able to master that combination, or that, I don't know, I can't think of the word right now. Like, I feel like that actually makes it more fun. It's like instead of one or the other, I get to be both, and I get to kind of like see, okay, I'm gonna do this, okay, that's not cool, like, oh, I do that works, and then that way life becomes, I think, like a joyful experience, more than like, oh, I have to work, or I have to, I don't know, do any whatever it is that I feel like I have to.
And also, I wanted to ask a little bit, well, here's the thing. You mentioned this is what I want, to be successful in. So, you mentioned the things, joy, having good relationships, joy, beauty, all those different types of things. I 100% agree. But I know there was a time in my life before, I found, that deeper spiritual path, that I thought success was having a good job and earning money and going on a nice holiday and such like. So isn't that interesting? Do you think that your view on success has changed, or have you always felt like that? Because you've been very successful in the software development, you're a very successful business and such like. So what would you say?
Hmm, that's a good question. Well, so I personally, even when I had like a good job, and I had a good life in San Francisco like that, I never really cared much about it, because I've always felt that something was missing. It was always something nagging within me. But I do, I've met like I have some clients that have done a lot of great things, that they think is successful, and then they got there and they just kind of be like, okay, now what? Right. So I can I can understand the, and maybe, maybe in the past, I think my definition of success is a very much tied to, doing what I thought I should be doing according to maybe my cultures, or like familial values and things like that. So I think, yeah, so maybe I think that more, that's how it was, and it's something that I continue to struggle with a lot, right? Because it's really deep programmings, and sometimes it's hard to really tell like what is me versus what my parents wanted me to do, or like culturally, that I was taught. um, and definitely that definition has changed. The definition of success has changed, where now for me is, if I have the relationships in my life that are important to me, those relationships are solids. If I every day get up, I get to do what I love. I get to, share the work that I really, really, truly believe in, and get to make even like just one person's light lit up a bit more. Like, for me, I feel that's really fulfilling. So yeah, now maybe success for me is like living my purpose, and also being able to create fulfillment in life. I can't think of anything better. Yesterday, at a networking event, somebody asked me like, what did you want to do when you were a child? And I was like, this. I had this moment. I was like, oh my gosh, that's literally, I'm living my childhood's dream. So that's successful for me, I think.
100%. And I love that bit that you said, you're living your purpose. And we know people have different purpose, but essentially it might look a bit different in that, but essentially our purpose is that, one of, those purposes could be that, that we are united in, most people want to help other people. Everybody I speak to at some point, they, that is part of that purpose. And I think, that for me, um, revealed itself on the path. And I would
Oh,
perhaps
for
never
sure,
have,
yeah.
perhaps not have understood the importance of that, is being able to share what I have learned or what I have gained with others brings me so much joy. And in that, I feel hugely successful as well.
Yeah, and that goes back to the point of saying that the path really helps us remember like our higher potential, right? Like holds us accountable to that, right? So the path also gives, I think, like a higher, like a big picture, like higher perspective, so you can really see what really matters in life. And like you said, okay, well, I have this gift, like let me get over all of my fears and my doubts and all of these things that's stopping me so that I can actually share these gifts and make a difference, instead of, I could sit on all these tools forever and not necessarily make a difference. But okay, because I have connection to something greater than me, now I have a way to overcome myself and to share a lot of these good things.
I love it. Well, our time has whizzed by, and I know it's a short time, but we will definitely get you back on. I know you've been on the show before. Thank you so much for sharing your perspective and and the path and success. It's such an amazing topic. I'm sure we could talk about it for hours. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, Mrs. McKay.
Oh, my pleasure. And if you would like to get in touch with us, please just, we have colleagues in over 50 odd countries around the world, so we can connect you to somebody. So you can get in touch with us. And, if you are that person that's feeling the success but not fulfilled, then give us a call. And if you want success in your life, then also give us a call. So
more like greater success.
Yeah, greater success. Success that you haven't even thought that's possible yet.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Oh, bless. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you so much, and good night for now.
Goodbye.